switch over to my agenda. Whoops. I did this last time. Okay. I don't know why the agenda is doing that. I think I've got it hidden. So today for the agenda, we've already done the introduction, so we're already speeding along here. I'll give you a quick background on the customer relationship management industry as it now stands. Show you Dynamics CRM then, and we'll focus on contact management, account management, a little on the configuration, opportunity management, dashboard analytics, and a little bit into integrated marketing. Okay, go back to my slideshow. Okay, so for a background, I've been tracking the Forrester analysis that comes out since the beginning. I've been working with this since their 1.0 version, but and what I'm showing you here is 3 time slices: 2007, 2010, and then the next slide is 2012. And what this shows is in 2007, Microsoft had their version 3.0 out, and when the analysis was done by Forrester in the mid-market, what they found is that in terms of strategy, Microsoft was pretty well the strongest. Although anywhere in this pack is a fairly good area to be in. And in terms of offering, it was just a little weaker than some of the others. Okay. In 2010, and this is version 4.0, it's seen as the leader both in terms of strength of the offering and strategy. And you can look from the size of the circle, which is market presence or market share, then it was really one of the largest ones out there. Okay. Fast forward to about a year ago, and this is version 2011, so we're one version back now. And Microsoft again was seen as a leader both in terms of offering and strategy. And what we expect to see happen is with 2013, it is a much bigger change from 2011 to 2013 in terms of the user interface versus the ones in the past. 2011 gave us incredible dashboarding and charting capability, okay, and a few other things that were very useful in implementations. With 2012, it's really all about your user community, and what we expect to see happen is, the time spent on technical training should go way down. Really, you'll be doing business process training now, and the adoption should go up because it's just a lot easier to use. Okay. Some of the reasons why Forrester had ranked Microsoft so high in the past, and we expect to see even more of as we go forward, is number one, it's really easy to use. So it works out of Outlook. It also works out of web browsers, smartphones, and tablets. Now, the big change with 2013 is it can actually sense what size of device you're on and will change the screen and how it's rendered based on the device. So you'll see today that I'll be showing a lot of things with a 3-column width and big columns. So it might be, let's say, a dashboard. So we'll have 3 very large elements side by side. In a smaller screen, you'll still have that information, but it will move the 3rd column down below. So you'll still have the information. They'll just scroll down a little further. Okay. The other thing is that it's still very configurable. So instead of going into an organization and saying you have to run your business this way, what we do is find out what makes you different, what works in terms of business process for you, and what can we do from a systems perspective to support that. Okay? Because the whole objective is really increasing sales at most companies, or improving customer service, or really improving things. It's not to install software so people will use it. Okay? It integrates with what you have. So you don't need, for those of you on the phone that do have Dynamics now, you know that you didn't have to get rid of your existing accounting system or website. It will integrate with those things. Next point is they're investing heavily in Dynamics. Microsoft invests about $9.5 billion a year in R&D. 80% of that goes into their cloud strategies, of which Dynamics CRM is a big part. Okay, it's really seen as one of the capstone products in their stack. That's the front end interface for most of your team members in marketing, sales, customer service, really the whole gamut. Okay, the only thing that department that wouldn't be using it day to day is the finance department that might be using ERP, but still they may be using it to see additional information on your accounts. Last point here is you've still got multiple deployment choices. So Microsoft does host online. We can host, or other partners can host. That's called the partner-hosted model. And it will also run on-premise. And just like in the past, you can actually move between one environment and the next as your needs change. So we've had customers that were on-premise, and they decided they didn't want all of the support and the cost of the servers and everything. So they'd like us to host it for them, or Microsoft, and it's a simple matter of moving the database over, and then really they're up and running once we move the customizations as well. And we've also had some move the other way, where we do a pilot in our hosted environment, and then that moves into their on-premise environment when they bring the rest of the enterprise on stream. So in terms of size, they're getting close to 4 million users. Globally, they're very strong. Many partners are Dynamics partners in the network, okay? And they really are a leader in both the Gartner and Forrester quadrant analysis. Last thing I'll show before we get into actual CRM is Outlook Client is one of the prime reasons, or it's not the prime, it's one of the key reasons why companies do choose Dynamics, because since it works out of your Outlook, you don't have to go and log into something else. But in the past, and this is with 2011, the previous ones, the information and processing was all managed in one. You can think of it as one big stack. So Outlook processes, CRM processes, and other processes were in one place, okay, like offline. What they've done with 2013 is they've moved it into 3 different stacks. So one for web processing, another one for the main, essentially the out-of-the-box Outlook. And then if you use Outlook to go offline with your information, they also have a stack for that. And the net effect of this is that the Outlook client becomes more stable since each of the areas is managed independently. So for those machines that, and in fact I had one today at a client that was running 2011, they had a few systems that were, just had a ton of stuff running on them. By spreading it over the 3 stacks, one specific to each area, you have essentially higher uptime on Outlook. So the stability's there over and above what was in 2011, which in of itself was over and above any of the previous ones. Okay, so that's it for PowerPoint slides. Now let's take a look at it. So I'll get into my Outlook, and actually this is a dev image of Outlook, so it's dummy data, but we'll pretend it's mine. And let's just take a look at my mail. Okay, so here's the the inbox and sent mail and so forth. So just as in previous versions, if you're familiar, and if not, I'll go over it. You're able to track email so that even if it's deleted from Outlook, it will still be in your CRM. And other team members who have the security rights to see it would be able to see it if you're on holiday or in meetings or whatever the reason is why you're not there. So to track something, you can see these 2 little people mean that it's tracked. All I have to do is right-click on it, click Track in CRM, and what it will actually do is look for that contact. You see, it's got the 2 little people here now. It would look to see if the contact's in CRM. If it's not there, it will actually create it for you, and then it will attach the email. If it is there, then it will just attach it for you. Okay? Now, if you don't want to attach to a contact, you can click Set Regarding and attach it to a project or a company or really anything you want to in the system. Once you track as well, what it will do is show you what it's linked to. And I can jump right to Abe's record in CRM from Outlook without having to get out of Outlook, log into a CRM, and go from there. So you can manage everything within one place. I'll show you the web browser in a second because you can also use that. Okay, so that's some of the email functionality. Calendar works much the same way. So if I've got, let's say I've got a meeting with Fourth Coffee on Thursday, right-click it, track, and now it's in my CRM system. And if my manager wants to see where I am, it's all in CRM, and you can get reporting off of that as well. Okay, same holds true for my personal contacts. or really my business contacts. You don't have to track contacts that you don't want to track. So I wouldn't track my doctor in here. But if I want this person tracked, I just click tracked. Okay. Actually, it's already tracked, so no. But if it wasn't tracked, right-click track it, and then it's tracked in CRM. Okay. So I've also got all of the companies and contacts and opportunities, activities, everything that I'm working on as part of my Outlook as well. So let's just look at my activities. So all of my tasks and phone calls are in here. I can create my own view to sort them. So I may want all of my phone calls on the West Coast. I may have a list for that. Let's say if I want to make calls later in the day, it'd be a handy way of managing it. I'll show you a little bit more on that later. And also my dashboard is in here. I'm going to show you a little bit more on that in a second. And all the companies that I work with are in here as well, and I can quickly go in and find them and work with them. Okay? Now let's just bring one up. Let's bring up that fourth coffee. Okay, there's a preview. Okay, and there's fourth coffee's record. We'll look at the records in just a second. Okay, so that's Outlook. We have many clients where in the course of a day, this is where they are. During the daytime, they get into the morning, they get into their email, and they're in both email and appointments, and the customers they're working with, all in one place all day. We have other clients who like as well just using a web browser to get access to information. So they may be remote, they may be accessing over a tablet. That might be even an iPad or an Android device. It doesn't have to be Microsoft Surface. Okay, so I'll just show you the browser look. Okay, and it looks much the same. The only difference is I don't have my my inbox and sent mail and things in here. One thing you'll notice in CRM now, and now I'm coming through the browser, is that right now it just looks like I'm looking at a dashboard report. Okay, and in fact I'm in the full system. They've removed the navigation area on the left in order to save space, and I'll show you where that is in just a second. And they've also given the screens the ability, as I mentioned earlier, that if it's a smaller screen like a tablet, they don't try to shove everything in and make it small. The screen will actually re-render to make things look better. Okay, so right now I'm looking at I've got 3-column width here on the on my charts. If the screen's a little smaller, a little smaller. There we go. So now I've got, I'm still looking at the information I was looking at before, but that third chart is just down below. Okay, right here. So by sensing the size of my screen, it just re-renders and makes it easy to use. The other thing to notice, right now I'm in the dashboard again, is they've got an area here. It's similar to Chatter, which by the way you can integrate, or other social media add-ins. And what it allows you to do is to follow information. So there may be key opportunities or other things in the company that you want to follow. And once you follow it, any updates essentially would be here. Okay, so that's quite helpful. You can also have multiple dashboards. Okay, and these might be dashboards. There you go. These might be dashboards that are created centrally, or you can create your own. So there may be a particular marketing program that's coming up, and if you're in the marketing department, say you want to create a dashboard just for that program to look at what's happening on the sales side and the email side and the direct mail side and other things. And to create a dashboard like that, you could literally in under 5 minutes, 10 minutes, have a pretty sophisticated looking dashboard without having to call us to do it for you. Okay, very intuitive. I'll show you a little bit on that in a second. So let's take a look at a couple of dashboards I've got set up. One's a sales activity dashboard, and in here I'm looking at my sales pipeline, and in a dashboard you're able to click on any section that's colored in and then drill down. So in this case I might want to click on, this is the qualification stage. I could click on it and then look at qualification by rep, so how many by rep are there. Some more examples of dashboard elements. Here's goals, and you can actually look at goals you've set up. You can think of that as quota for the team or by rep, and then see how you're performing against quota. Now in here, because this is a demonstration environment, I just set up one that wasn't at 100% just to give a picture of what that might look like. And with a little pick list at the top that we could put in, we could drill down by team or by rep or by so forth. Okay. Here's leads by source. I've got top opportunities, top customers. And if this is a sales rep dashboard, you might even want to have maybe my activities in here. So I could actually run my territory right from a dashboard. Okay, on the service side, I've got a customer service operations dashboard set up as an example. And now I can look in here to see maybe activities by owner, by team. Okay, here's a leaderboard, a concept. Here's articles that we're currently using. Cases by day, by origin. Okay, so I've got some stack charts in here, and there's cases by priority by day. Okay, these things again are very easy to configure and update. You don't need developers to do that. Okay, so let's look at account management now. So we'll take a look at my company list. And if I wanted to find a company, it's a simple matter of, you can either just click on it. Usually there's a lot of them. So you type in the first few letters of the name. Remember which one I'm looking for. There it is, Fabricam. Click on it to open it. Okay. And what you're seeing here is just a company profile that I created. Okay, this is a business process, and I haven't configured that yet. In here I've got one configured, an opportunity that we can take a look at. But this really is a snapshot of the whole company. And this one I had configured to take a look at the company name, the hierarchy, so what their parent is, some phone numbers. I've got their website, their LinkedIn profile, so I could just click on this to bring up their LinkedIn information. Often we'd put in the map, so I can just click on it and find where they're located. I've got key contacts, recent opportunities, recent cases, and I've got the social media area here where I can see what's happening on the account, both in terms of activities, notes, okay, and it's very easy to add, a new one, okay. So instead of in the past where there was a bit of clicking, everything now is in one place. Okay, with the ability to sense the size of the screen that you have, what that enables us to do is configure it so that it really makes maximum use out of the screen real estate area, instead of having to deploy for the the least common multiple. So in the past, if you had some very small screens, everybody had to use it as if it was made for the very small screen. Okay. Now, if there is more information that will fit here, and I do have some information at the bottom, it's just a matter of scrolling down. Okay. So in here, I'm looking at some financial information, so year-to-date sales, last year's sales, some billing information, and some AR information. And this is done through an integration to the accounting system. So by looking really at one sheet, you've got a full view of this company, and you're not going to get blindsided if you're a sales rep walking in to talk about maybe a new opportunity. Okay, and by the way, in looking at this, I can see that I've got a fairly big opportunity for 200K. I've got another one that's being qualified for 8,400. So I've got a lot outstanding here. I've also got a case here with a fairly high priority on it that's not resolved yet. So before I walk in, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd probably know about this as a rep, but I may not know about these. So I'd click on the case, find out a little bit about it. Okay, so in this case, I noticed that they had a problem of some sort. Okay, and it was a late delivery, and I can see that the service area called into Purelator and it looks like Purelator is rerouting. Okay, so now let's just go back. So now when I walk in to meet with them, I already know that they have these issues. I know what the status is, and instead of my conversation on these opportunities getting railroaded by a service issue caused by a vendor of mine, I can handle that and then move on to what we're really there to talk about. Okay. The other thing is, because you can use this as a team selling tool, I might see that the notes area that somebody else has added, that Bob Smith, our VP of Marketing, knows Ann, okay, and their company personally, and that might just help me in the opportunity. Okay. Rob will speak at the end a little on using this to drive sales beyond what I'm showing you here. One thing we can do is pool connections the organization has with different customers through their LinkedIn connections. So when you're trying to penetrate an account, we can actually show you, based on who knows whom in LinkedIn, that there are other contacts at your company that know that person or that company. And then you can actually leverage your own internal human capital resource connections to help grow and penetrate into accounts, rather than the sales rep having to communicate out to everybody, hey, does anyone know this company? Okay. And what we've seen is people are really going through a lot of email fatigue. Some people are getting 100, 200 emails a day. So we can cut down the number of emails by leveraging information our company already has. It just helps the whole work environment and the ability to win sales. Okay. Let's take a look at one of these opportunities. So let's take a look at this one. Actually, let's look at the little one first. Okay, so this is a relatively small opportunity, and I'd call this more of a transactional opportunity. So it's only for $8,400. And in many cases in an opportunity like this, it's a matter of finding out, just qualifying them, okay, proposing your solution, and then you're either going to win it or not. But you're not going to follow a full, like a Miller-Hyman sales process, or a targeted account selling process. Okay, and that's what many companies that we work with that have gone through formal training like that, is they try to make every opportunity follow a certain process. And the reality is that not all opportunities should follow the same process. Smaller ones should be quicker and just allow you to get in, qualify, quote it, and then get out. Okay. Other ones that are very big, then you may want to follow a more formal sales methodology. Now that's what these processes are for. Okay, and you can use processes on really any of the key entities. So for a project, there may be a project onboarding process that you'd have different project stages, okay, or even gating stages. For a lead, there may be a process. And in this case, I'm showing a process for an opportunity, a simple one. Okay. In this case, I'm qualifying, so I'm finding out who's the account, when's their purchase time frame, what's their purchase process. Okay. And I may have something in here like, do they have a budget? Do they have a need? Okay, and just simple qualification questions. Then I'd want to develop a proposal and present it. And the presenting might just be in a simple process, just emailing it out or quoting it over the phone. And then I'd probably have a follow-up process if it isn't closed within a day or two. Okay, and then you get to closing, which if it's one, we'd want to confirm there's a PO, and if it's lost, then we'd have a process around that too. Okay, on a bigger opportunity, there'd be more involved, and I'll just give you an example of that. And we can drive these processes based on opportunity size or other metrics. And what I've done here as an example is I've created a process called a strategic sales process. Okay, you'll notice here that instead of 3 sales stages, I now have 4. So I've got qualify, and you'll see that there's more fields around the qualification process. Okay, like estimate a budget. Have we identified the decision maker, and so forth. This new stage is develop, and here I'm identifying what their need are, the proposed solution. Have I identified the key stakeholders and what's their role? Have I identified the competitors? Okay, at the proposal stage, I've got a few more steps as well. Okay, and not only can you identify a process, but you can also have the screens changed to support the process. I'll just give you an example of that. So at this stage, let's say this one, and I'm identifying the key stakeholders. Here. I can have it again through a little bit of automation at the beginning. So when we set the sales stage, we can set the form. So now it's the same opportunity, so it's the same name and person and budget amount and things. But now, because I've identified that it's a strategic opportunity, I've identified, okay, we want to know the key stakeholders. We want to know internally what's our sales team. Okay, we'd like to find out who our competitors are. Okay, and we may want more information about them as well, and that can be shown. And instead of clicking around and adding, 10 different clicks to add a new stakeholder in, it's a very simple process. We may have just add a new stakeholder here. Okay, we'll take Sarah, and you can see I've got editable grids now, which is new to 2013, and maybe she's a technical buyer. Okay, and that's how easy it is just to add a new stakeholder. Same with sales team, competitor. Very simple to update it, and because it's simple and fast, even though this is a more complex sales process, because it does add value to the rep, and especially to managers who are coaching in on the opportunities, what we feel is that adoption, we've already seen it with a couple that we've got going so far. We've already seen that adoption and the training time goes down, adoption goes up, and those are good things. Okay. So that just gives you a quick idea on the sales process and the having the screen changed to support the process. Just go back to Fabricam again. Okay, in addition to the sales process, what they've also done is given you the ability to use business rules within forms in order to change the screen and add in other changes as well in real time, instead of having to go to a development team to have it done for you. I'll just give you a quick example. This company type right now is partner. Let's change it to customer. Okay, and you'll see right under here under company type, there's nothing there. If I change it to customer, okay, now there's a customer number field that's populated. Okay, and that's what they now call a business rule. So business rules, and I'll just show you a little on configuration. Business rules are essentially configured in very straightforward business process sense instead of a coding sense. What do I do with my form? Okay. Okay, so here's my form, and the business rules is a new area here called business rules, and here's my little rule to say hide customer number if it's not a customer, and show the customer number if it is a customer. So just open that one up, and you set your condition. Okay, it's a little like a query, and it can have multiple conditions. It doesn't have to be one in it, and then you set your action. Okay, to create a new one. Okay, let's say the AR balance is equals something. Then I might want, I can show an error message. I can set a field value to a certain field value. So let's say if their AR balance is greater than something, I might want to say, hey, they're out of credit here, right up at the top of the screen when I load it. I could set a field to be business required. So if it's a customer, I might require that they put in a customer number before they can save it. I can set the visibility of a field, so whether it's visible or not, and that's what I had done down here. Or I could lock or unlock a field in the form. And we'll just leave that. Okay. Now, just like in 20 2011, the previous version, configuring the screen is very straightforward. So you can actually take areas, click on them, and move them. We can, let's just get the, there we go. So, see, I can move a section around, I can move fields. I can add new fields into the screen, so if I want, let's say a fax number on here, I can just add it in. And I can even create a brand new field of many field types. And with this version, they've even added pictures. So that's an image. So if you had, you know, we used in the past, and we were able to do it with 2011, it just took a little longer, but you know, like a Rolodex of employees with their pictures, we've done that before. Customers where relationship management is really important, like you know, students or you know, clients where you want their pictures in, you could put it in, or for like a product catalog, we've done that as well. And now because it's supported out of the box, it's just a matter of creating, it was for a product picture, create a product picture field, say it's an image, and now it allows you to save the image in CRM. Okay, so that's a little on form configuration. Just leave here. In terms of the process configuration, that can be edited as well. It doesn't take a developer. And this was the one from the store or the company, so it doesn't have as many stages as the previous one. But you can add a new step, and you can even add new or a new stage, I guess, and then you can add a new step within this stage just with configuration, or not just by saying click new, and then it adds it in. Okay. A couple other things is spell check now works with 2011 in like memo fields, so you're able to type and have it identify spelling issues for you. The other thing that's included in here now is when I change information, like I'm going to put a customer number in here, if I wait a few seconds, what it will actually do is save for me without having to click save. You can see that they've taken save off of the top. That's similar to what you find in something like a OneNote, which is Microsoft's really useful, by the way, tool for putting notes in, you know, by project or what have you. It really works the same way in here. So once I put it in, after a few seconds, it saves it, and now it's saved without having to click save all the time. If I want to force the save just quickly, there's a little disk. They still do have it. Sort of put down on the bottom right, and you're able to quickly, if you want to, save it. Okay, and it will save it. Okay, now let's take a look at a list of opportunities, because I've got more to show you on the analytics side. Okay, you can see I'm navigating up at the top of the screen. So right now we're on the sales area. So I just clicked the little pull down and I've got access to everything in sales instead of having the navigation on the left. And now I'll pick, if I click opportunities, I'll see the list of opportunities which I'm going to do. If I click over here, it will show me the opportunities that I've most recently been viewing. Okay, but let's take a look at the whole list. So here's a list of the opportunities that I've got open. If I want to, I can look at all of them. Okay, again, this is dummy data, so I don't have a lot of them set up here yet. As time goes on, I'll have more. So in here, what you're able to do is, as I showed you before, you can open an opportunity and manage it. In some companies, we actually deploy this as an editable grid. So before a sales meeting, you can update the pipeline phase and the estimated revenue and things right from here. Okay, and you're also able to go in and, if I want to, if I click filter, now just like in Excel, all the columns are filterable. Okay, and the other thing is they've moved the charting functionality from Excel into this view. Okay, so here's the charting functionality in here, and we're going to get into that in just a second. The last thing that I should mention on this is we will open up an opportunity. Okay, I showed you the editable grids a little earlier on the stakeholders and sales team. Just show you a last editable grid. In terms of the products that are being quoted on an opportunity or that are related to an opportunity, you can add one just like we did with before when I added a stakeholder. Just click the little plus. Okay, and I can add an existing or a write-in. So let's do an existing. Okay, and I can find, actually let's use a write-in. I don't know how many I've got here. Okay, so we'll add a new write-in product, and this might be, okay, and my price is $100. Let's say 110 per unit, and I've got 2 of them. Okay, and you'll see that the information here is I'm entering it right into the grid. I didn't have to click and open another form and click around finding it. It's all in one place. And when I'm updating the numbers in the grid, it's actually updating the amounts as well. Okay, it's also updating the estimated revenue of the opportunity. If I'm showing that on the screen. Okay, so and if I later on go and change the amount, so let's say instead of 7, there's 11 of them, you can see it updates here as well. Okay, oops. Now also now you only have one browser session that you're in. You can have multiple if you want to. But as soon as I close down the browser, which was the habit in 2011, I don't have another one behind. So it's a real advantage because there's less pop-ups now. Let's go back to my opportunities. The other advantage is that the forward and back buttons work. So I can actually navigate. If I'm looking at a company and I go to a contact, I can actually come right back just by clicking the back arrow. Okay, so here's my list of opportunities. We'll go to all the open ones again. And let's take a look at some of the charts. And the one I like is the sales funnel. And this is essentially the one that we looked at in the dashboard. Okay, and in the dashboard, I think I showed you that when you click on an area like qualify, you're able to drill down. So if I want to look at maybe this by probability of win, you can. It's not specific to the dashboard. You can do it in the views as well. So let's just look at probability and look at it this way. Okay, and now I can see it by probability of win. If I was a sales manager and I had many sales reps and I wanted to see of the ones that were open in the qualification stage, you know, that's a little early to have it at an 80% chance of winning. So let's take a look at that. And now I might want to drill down by rep to see who's doing that. So you can have multi-level drill down in here just by creating a chart. And the charts like that, this funnel can be created in less than a minute. And I'll actually show you that. Again, this plus, so it's consistent. You know, even if I'm adding to the system, just like adding an opportunity or adding a product in an opportunity or a new company. You know, if I want to create a new chart, I use the plus as well. So I'll click plus. That particular one I was showing was estimated revenue. Okay, and I'm summing them up by sales stage or pipeline phase. Okay, so there they are. And let's look at it as a funnel. And there it is. All I have to do is give it a name. Okay, I can keep that one if I like, or I could change the name. Click Save, and then it becomes a standard chart in the system. Okay, now I'm not going to do this because I'll have the same one named many times. I called it New Funnel, and that's where it is. Okay. Now, if I want to add that onto my dashboard, it's easy to do. So let's take a look at my dashboards. You know, I can even create a new dashboard. Okay, give it a name. Okay, and let's add that one that we just created in. So that was in opportunities. and it was, let's say the view, let's just have it as all open opportunities, and here's my new funnel. There it is. Now it's a little stumpy. If I want to make it a bit bigger, I can do that, and let's just increase the height. Okay, maybe increase the height again. Okay, so I can really play with the dashboard and have it look exactly as I want it. So I might pull in maybe something else from opportunities like activities against the opportunities. Sticking with the opportunity theme, I might look at marketing campaigns and my open rate. So I might want to look at all the ones that were sent out in the last month, the opens versus the clicks versus the score and so forth. And then another one down here showing me by campaign, how many open opportunities I have versus closed, and then maybe another one showing me the estimated revenue open versus closed. Okay, and on the close it could be won versus lost. So my whole business in terms of, say, this dashboard's for marketing, my whole marketing business is all in one place. Okay, and that's one of the values of having the dashboard. Really is a flexible dashboard, the ability to create my own charts without having to go to a development team, and then bring them onto the dashboard as I require. Okay, and that's a very quick high-level overview. There's a lot in here I could walk through. Case management. In fact, if anybody has questions that you type in on case management, I'd be happy to look at that. I can also look at some of the other areas. With case management, a lot of the functionality is similar. One of the big differences is if you have a phone system and you want to tie into that, we can do that. And all the the call reporting and other things that you'd expect to have out of an integrated system, it supports. Okay, service reps in the field, we've done that as well. Deployed to tablets with e-signatures so customers can sign off. It's a very flexible platform in supporting your business needs. Okay. So Rob, unless you can think of something that I missed, I'll pass the gauntlet and torch over to you.
No, that's great. Thanks, Bill. There's two questions actually sitting in here that I'd like to ask. And if anybody else has a question or comment, please type it in the question window, and I'll make sure it's answered before we leave. So the first one is the search engine more forgiving than in the 2011 version?
The search engine is very similar to the 2011 search. So we find it to be very flexible. Now we have, though, there's probably 30, you can think of them as extensions, or you can give it any name you want, but for some cases where sales reps really want to find and search for accounts, like, show me all the ones that I need to meet with because they're beyond my service standard that I set out for them. So I might have A, B, C, and D accounts. So for searches like that, we actually have a canned interface that we put in that's configured to you to make the searching very simple. So from that perspective, yes, it's more forgiving, but we deployed that in 2011 all the time. So it's more the extensions that the partner has that can really add value that you're benefiting from in the search area beyond just upgrading to 2013. So I hope that answered it. But searches shouldn't be difficult for reps. It should be set out and configured so that what they need to have access to is just there for them.
So the next question, it came in quite a while ago, so I think you might have answered this, but just in case. Regarding business rules, can the list of actions be edited? That's the first part of the question. Second part, are they context sensitive?
Yes, they can be edited, and yes, they can be context sensitive. So let's take a look at that. Opportunities are probably a better example than the guy I clicked on it in company. So let's take a look at one, and this is that more involved process. So I can have multiple processes, and the process can be served up based on information in the opportunity. So in that sense, it's context sensitive. So for one we're doing right now, they said that if the opportunity is greater than $30,000, it's a strategic opportunity, and we want them all to be handled similarly. So what we have is when the estimated revenue is put in, or the budget's put in, we have a little statement that says, okay, if it's greater than 30,000, then switch the process to the more involved strategic process. Okay, so that's the first part of your question. The second part is, can we change it? And that's in the editing. So in here, if I click plus, I can add a new stage into the process. And if I click here, I'd have to deactivate, but I click here, I can add a new step. The steps have a name, and they can have a field they're associated with. Okay, so the heading here is, have I identified the customer need? And in that case, I'm pulling up the customer need field, but I could even have a field that's not named the same as that field. Okay, and the fields can be, yes, no fields. Like this is a yes, no. Okay, I can toggle between them. It can be a pick list. Okay, it could be a lookup field. So you really have a lot of flexibility over what it's capturing. And the fields that are shown here, they're abbreviated. Okay, so you don't want something really long. But the same field can also be shown down here. Okay, so when I update, let's say the account name, it would update the account name here. Okay, or vice versa. So I hope that answers your question.
So we've got a bunch more questions coming in. I think what I'm going to do is, because we're running out of time, I'm going to slip over to the slide deck I've got to talk about how you use CRM to grow revenue, and then we can come back to the questions. And just so people know, the intent of today is really to go give you a high-level overview of the 2013 platform. It's extremely robust. For those of you who want more of a detailed demo specifically to your business requirements, we can do a special one-on-one demo for you as well. So just let me know. You've all got my email address, Rob Trigg, so you can do that. Okay, so let's jump over. I'm just going to switch over, Bill.
Sure.
To me. And hang on. So I lost my window. Can you make me the presenter, Bill? Oh, never mind, I got it.
Okay.
Can you see that okay?
Yeah, it looks like it's coming through.
Okay. Sorry about that. I just had to switch over there. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit, just for about 5-6 minutes here, on getting more from your CRM investment. And as you can see from Bill's demo, the Microsoft Dynamics CRM can really help your company in many ways. It's almost like the Swiss Army knife of CRM. So if your focus is customer care, managing the 360-degree view of your customer experience, it can do that. If your focus is more on marketing, integrating with web and social media and things like this, can absolutely do that. If your focus is on generating more sales, which is normally a really large focus that we see, things like lead generation, conversion, forecasting, pipeline management, it can absolutely do that, and that's the area I'm going to spend the next 5 or 6 minutes talking. So today the focus is on how to leverage your CRM investment for top-line revenue growth. But the first thing I need to establish with everybody is to get everyone to understand that the way customers buy has fundamentally changed. And the way it's changed is now 37% of all buying decisions are made without even engaging a person. And this trend is continuing to grow. So what I mean by that is, if you look at this funnel at the very top, all the way down to the bottom, this is the way sort of every company buys. So they go through this process where there's a business symptom or opportunity. That business symptom or opportunity turns into pain if it's an issue, and then that turns into a plan. And once the company they establish the plan of what they're going to do about it, they start to research potential solutions of what services or products they need to acquire to solve that business problem. They research potential suppliers of those solutions. They might do an RFP or ask for a quote. They'll select a vendor, they'll negotiate the terms, and then they'll buy. So depending on what you sell, the products or services that you sell, you're going through this process yourself when you have a business symptom or issue. Well, the customers that you're trying to sell to are also going through the same thing. So at the top here, companies are begin looking for products and services after that business symptom. Once they've gone through that top piece of the funnel, they drop into the bottom piece. Okay. If you wait though to engage a client until they've gone into researching potential solutions phase, you're actually in the most highly competitive portion of the way companies buy. So it becomes a feature flog. It's a much, much higher cost of sales to sell that way, and your chances of winning go way down. So what's changing really is this. Most companies have trained salespeople on trying to penetrate companies they're selling to by using different sales methodologies. And each one of these sales methodologies addresses a certain part of this buying funnel. So some of them, BANT stands for budget, authority, need, and time frame. FAB stands for feature, advantage, and benefit. SPIN stands for situation, problem, implication, and need. Solution selling is self-explanatory, and there's a new model emerging more and more called, it's a consultative selling model called the challenger sale model. So each one of these types of selling methodologies addresses a specific position someone is on in this buying funnel. Now, the one common denominator to all this is typically companies that approach selling this way are putting all the weight on the shoulders of the salespeople to penetrate and win these deals. So what's fundamentally changing is this. Remember, 37% of all decisions are made online. So for people that are in that top part of the funnel, which is where you want to approach companies, when they're doing their homework, they're looking at websites, social tools. They're going through this process and even buying before they even engage anybody. So as a company, if you're not supporting your sales efforts by making sure that you have a comprehensive plan as it relates to online marketing, so website, social media, all those tools. But then the biggest caveat is not just to have that. We all have that now. We all have websites. We all have, we're doing blogs and we're doing Facebook and things like that. So we have those things. The thing is, we want to merge those two things. We want to merge what sales is doing and what marketing is doing and combine these two bottom and top pieces of the funnel so that we're working together. And so what this means is, you need to consider a fresh approach if you're going to take advantage of what's happening with the way customers are buying, that shift in the way they're buying. So you want to find and nurture companies that are in that business pain stage at the top by using alternative methods. You want to be building relationships with them without tying your highly skilled or highly paid salespeople. You want to engage them when the time is right for maximum effectiveness. We use something called trigger events. So engage a company with the products or service that you sell when the timing is right for them, not just right for you. And the last one is use the information that you already own, data in your systems for upselling and cross-selling customers, maybe customers that you've lost in the past. So the key is to do this, is marketing on the left typically is responsible for these functions, so advertising, branding, PR, and so on. They're also the custodian of the website and digital media and social campaigns and things like this. So the funny thing is, as people are making more and more decisions on what they're going to buy in that top part of the funnel, and they're doing most of that based on digital media and online media, the marketing team and the marketing function in your company has gotten a lot more important, a lot more critical to your success. On the other side, we've got the sales group, either direct or through channels. And so they're focused on prospecting and sales cycle management, developing proposals, closing deals. So this is what they're doing, and they've been doing it for years. They continue to do this. So the trick to make this all happen is to take what marketing is doing and move that closer to sales, and take what sales is doing and overlay that with marketing. And we like to call that smarketing. So I was talking to somebody the other day. They said, smarketing sounds like smart marketing. And so, well, I guess you could call it that, but it's the integration of what sales and marketing are doing to create a more synergistic approach to the way you're approaching business development. Okay, so how do you do marketing? This is a busy slide, but this is all of it on one slide. So the way you do marketing is you configure your CRM in the center here. So you've got CRM in the center, you have smart data here on the right-hand side, the blue boxes. Then on the left, you have the yellow boxes, the marketing automation system. So when you tie these three things together, magic happens. You're able to grow revenue from existing customers and potential customers without having your existing sales teams do anything. Okay, so that's high level what marketing is. One of the things that I get asked often is, well, what are some of the success metrics for companies who implement marketing? So we did some quick math. So out of a campaign of 1,000 outbound email campaign, 350 suspects are developed on average. So if you think about that for a second, if you've got a sales force going out trying to find new prospects, by using a marketing system, you can actually increase the number of suspects that you're nurturing and prospecting to just through 1,000 company campaign. Okay, we often see a 35 to 40% response rate to any of the campaigns that we do through this marketing process. We see a 30% increase in sales rep productivity because the reps are focused on key things, not running around. We see a 25 to 30% open rate on the outbound email campaigns that we do. We see a 45% conversion ratio of leads. So when a lead comes in, 45% of those convert into actual customers. And we see an increase in the actual opportunity win rate. So when you've got deals that salespeople are working on, when you just analyze, even if they're not lead through this, the number of deals a salesperson or sales team is working on, we see a 38% increase in win rate because the salespeople are focused on what really matters. Okay, so these are some of the metrics that you can see from a marketing system. We don't only configure the CRM and supply smart data and help with marketing automation. We also have many different programs that we offer customers depending on the stage that they're at. So we have marketing success programs, marketing success management to manage the process. We have lead generation, nurture, and conversion programs, and sales success programs. So for marketing success, some of the things that we do are competitive positioning. So we find that a lot of companies are sending out information now, or they're trying to draw in new customers, and they're really having a hard time differentiating themselves between their competitors. So we spend a little bit of time making sure that that's very clearly understood, which means we help you with value proposition creation, so that can go into all of the outbound campaigns that we do. We help with campaign creation, design, and execution, key performance indicator dashboarding, so in real time you can see what's happening. That gives you real-time feedback on the early indicators of success or when you need to adjust a campaign. We can also provide marketing resources if you don't have them, and we also support you with configuring the marketing system. We also can do the lead generation, nurturing, and conversion for you. So there's three models there. There's a fully outsourced lead generation model, and we use a shared accountability model where you actually get to co-manage the resources that we put on your project versus you just signing up and paying us for leads that we generate. Okay, that's very different. That's very good. The next one is building a lead generation and conversion engine for you. So we can actually build this marketing system for you, train you how to do it, get you some early success, sort of like train the trainer, and then off you go. And the last one is augment external lead generation services. So if you're already doing this type of thing, or you're looking into leveraging an external lead generation service, we can help by augmenting that and helping you. We use social tools to increase our success, website tracking, outbound email calling campaigns. We use something that we call smart data, which I could probably spend a whole webinar on, and lead generation and conversion service level agreements and the systems that support this. This marketing success management is just programs where you would be assigned a manager to manage this process if that's what you need, and we can help guide you through the entire process, okay, along with system support and training and coaching. And the last thing is sales success programs. So we also have the ability to co-create sales success programs. So if your salespeople need help in converting leads and even outbound calling, we can help there too. So the offer for people that have attended this webinar is for those of you who are looking to upgrade your Microsoft 2013, upgrade to Microsoft 2013. We're offering a 10% credit towards your CRM upgrade if it's booked by November 30th. And that doesn't mean you have to do the upgrade by the 30th, but as long as we've got it booked in the calendar at some point in time, we'll honor that. We have various ways of accessing the CRM itself. These are 3 of our hosted models. So we have a CRM Essentials package, which is a $15 per user package, and that allows you to manage companies' contacts and tasks or activities. We have a CRM Basic package for $39 per user, and that's basically everything a salesperson might need is included in that. And then the fully loaded version, the CRM Enterprise version, is $65 per user per month. That's the full user experience. We also have marketing packages to help you increase top-line revenue. So if you'd like to talk to me more about that, I'll share my contact information here at the end. And then the lead generation and conversion. So generating leads for you with our shared accountability model, or we can build you a lead generation and conversion engine. Okay? And that's really the end of what I wanted to talk about. So Bill, I rushed through that quickly because of the time, but I want to go back to the questions some people had. And so let me do that now, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so the next question is, how easy is it to build an executive dashboard for prospects?
Well, it's very easy. You configure the charts that you feel the executive members would want to see, and then click New on a dashboard and drag the charts on to the dashboard. Some of the things beyond what I showed today is you want to see both lead and lag indicators. So a lag indicator, which most companies run on, would be things like, what were my sales in the last week, last month? How many what were my expenses by sales rep, and that type of thing. And the problem with lag indicators, it's great information, but you can't do anything about it. No matter how hard you try, you can't change the sales that you had last month. The lead indicators are really where you can add value, and that's what the executives should be looking at least part of what they should be looking at. So that's how many outbound emails have we sent out, and what's the open rate on them? What types of calls are coming into my call center, and what can we do about it to improve it would be the next question on the executive side. How many proposals are we doing? How many meetings are we doing? All of these things are lead indicators, and what lead indicators really are indicators of how well you're going to do in the future. And those are definitely things that the executive can act on. And if you're falling short in a particular area, you can add resources or change resources, or they really, if it's done properly, can help you drive the business forward. Okay, and a lot of that's based on something called Balanced Scorecard that came out of Harvard. Oh, must be about 10, 15 years ago now. I actually worked with one of the partners' companies, Renaissance, in implementing their dashboards at a fairly large organization. So we've got some background there, but I tell you, this stuff works, and you can actually see companies transform when they start focusing on things that they can actually have control over. Hope that's not too lengthy, but that's one area that I really like, is the executive dashboarding area.
So the only other question that we haven't really answered, the other ones we have in the course of the demo, but the last one is, can we easily create an account contact update form for mobile devices?
You can. So, and there's just so much to show, but included with Dynamics, well, first of all, with a Dynamics license, that enterprise license, you get absolutely everything. So that gives you the ability to run on a tablet. It gives you the ability to run offline. And it also gives you the mobile ability. So if you're on a BlackBerry or an iPhone or an Android phone, and you want to get access to one of your key accounts, You essentially click on the icon for it, type in the account name, and you've got it, okay, right on your phone without having to buy another license. Okay, so that's fairly powerful. I use it all the time, to be honest, when I'm trying to find out where I'm going. So if I can't remember how to get there, or I haven't been to that client before and I've got a meeting, I just bring them up on my phone, I click the map,